Hey, welcome to Piano Barbarians. I am your host, Paul Size. My guest today is Ron Lackey. Ron Lackey is the band leader of Too Proud to Beg, one of the best bands that we have here in Kansas City, providing incredible entertainment, providing incredible music in genres including soul, gospel, rock, R&B, blues. He is a brilliant mind, a brilliant singer, and a brilliant music director. And I was so delighted that he and I were able to talk about music, being a professional, and what it means to even overcome any sense of imposter syndrome that we all kind of get sometimes when it's time to hit the stage. So I'm very, very grateful to Ron. I have deep respect for him, and it was wonderful to have him as a guest on the show. So without any further ado, here is my conversation with Ron Lackey. Excellent.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm a little nervous.
Why is that?
Because I'm probably not the kind of piano player that, I don't know. I consider myself a singer.
Okay.
And who plays the piano.
All right.
Not a piano player who, sings.
Yeah.
And so I'm probably super critical of my lack of skills. I taught myself to play.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, am I good enough? Am I going to be able to do the things you need me to do to be of value as a piano player?
Sure.
Yeah.
I am of the opinion that whatever you bring is what is meant to be brought.
Okay.
That it.
Love it. Love it.
and I feel like what you just said, like, does that go through the heart and mind of like 1,000 musicians every day?
Yeah.
Not just like showing up to something like this, but showing up to any gig where they're like, "Am I?"
Yeah.
Do you feel, is that something? Well, I think the clinical term for that is imposter syndrome. Do you suffer from that sometimes?
100%. I get a lot of times where, like, because I work at a church part time, and I get a lot of times where people will ask me to play for a funeral or something like that, and my immediate response is, I'm not that kind of player. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or even oftentimes, like when we have a gig and they'll want like someone to play for cocktail. Okay. And I'll be like, oh, I'm not good enough to just sit and play like that.
I see.
And so, and then man, I remind my wife is always, she's such a great encourager. She's just like, not everyone can look at a piano and know where to put your fingers and to play the right chords. Yeah. So don't undervalue what you can do. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah. So I have to remind myself of that because I do feel like oftentimes, sometimes there's a really great player that plays with our band. Sometimes he plays keys, Desmond Mason. And man,
don't compare yourself to Desmond Mason.
But like, I feel like,
don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I know, man. That guy's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it does feel like imposter, but and I feel like if I wasn't singing, then my keyboard playing wouldn't, the value of it would be less. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where did you start? You say that you're self-taught. Was it just really like that's how?
Yeah. Literally, I started.
Because I don't think you taught yourself scales. Like you would have done that, right? Well, what did you teach yourself first?
I taught myself chords. First. It's kind of an interesting story. So I didn't start singing or doing anything musical until I was 30 years old. Okay. Didn't even know I could sing, had no idea. Was in church one day and a lady encouraged me. She said, you need to be up on the stage. And I was like, I remember my response is so funny. I was like, I could never sing in front of people. And so through a series of events, I found myself up on the stage and, leading the music. And after a few times, I realized that I didn't know how to talk to the band because I didn't play an instrument. Okay. And so what I did was I took all the music at the church, I took it home, bought this little Casio keyboard that it kind of lit up when you played the right chords. Okay. Taught myself how to build chords.
This Casio keyboard did this for you. This is incredible.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay. Yeah, I believe you.
Taught myself and, spent probably a year. And I don't even know if I would have started playing in front of people because I was still very scared. Yeah. But there was one particular during one summer where all our keyboard players went on vacation.
Okay.
And so I led from the keyboard, and man, it was just, basic chords, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, and 5 kind of chords, very simple. And then I led that way. And so that was kind of the beginning. And that was, I was 30 then, so I'm 56 now. So that's been a little while. So just the repetition of doing it. I do it every Sunday, and now in gigs and things like that too with the band. I realized that when I started, if I would see a chord on the page that was like a flat 5 or something like that, I was like, or was even in a key that I didn't regularly play in.
Right.
That was always hard for me. But now, after doing it for so long, it's like, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
But I consider myself, I had to label my style. It's kind of like the difference between a lead guitar player and a rhythm guitar player.
Okay.
I'm more like a rhythm keyboard player, in that regard.
Totally. Yeah.
So I think, what I do for the band adds, a level of things like that. Now, obviously, it gets musically, it gets better when you add someone like Desmond.
Sure.
But I'm very comfortable behind the keys, singing and playing.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what I do.
It's interesting to get to know guitar players and the guitar players that consider themselves like a rhythm player, and a guitar player that considers themselves a lead player.
Right.
If you don't play guitar, you just kind of see a guy with a guitar in his hands.
Correct.
Right? But then once you kind of get into the nuances of that and those two kind of skills is really interesting to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I gave some piano lessons to a guitar player once, and we traded, and he gave me some guitar lessons, you know? And what I noticed is that I hated soloing on guitar. I still really, really dislike it, but I'll start playing a solo, and then it'll just like evolve into like just playing chords. Right. Yeah. Whereas, but as a piano player where I'm more skilled, if I'm just supposed to be laying it down like this.
Right.
Like that stuff. That like little lead stuff will like start
itching in there. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
But it's the other way around. As a guitar player, like it's like, oh, please put me on rhythm.
Right.
Please put me on rhythm guitar. Yeah. But on a piano player, it's when I start getting like kind of anxious.
Yeah.
But that's like being a good accompanist, which I think is something that you probably have to do a lot. You have to like understand like, oh, I'm just gonna keep it like
absolutely
down here to like support the singer. You know.
Yep. Absolutely.
Do you feel that way, like, and supporting yourself, like when you
sing? Absolutely. Yeah. That just, and it's always easier to do support yourself, but I definitely have learned the skill of, because we have other singers on the team, and like, if we're breaking down a song at the end, and something simple, and they're just singing, and I'm just, kind of following them, and then, like, I just want to know where they end, and I always tell them, I'm like, take that as slow as you want to, and I'm just watching them, and, sing that out and let them, because I love, like, I think sometimes in music, particularly like in church music, we're always like rushing to get to the next thing, the next song,
Well, all right, you say we.
Yeah.
But we're talking about like a whole team of people.
That's correct.
But when do you mean like the band, or are you like looking at the pastor? Because I don't think the pastor is rushing to the next thing. But correct me if I'm wrong. Is that what you mean? Like the presentation of it? Like,
man, it's so different. So this is just a little bit of information about me. I grew up in like a black gospel church. Okay. But I don't work in a black gospel church. I work in a predominantly white church. So it's like CCM, contemporary Christian music, and that style. And man, these people are on the clock, bro.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. And so like, whereas like at my church, like he'd be like, how long is the church I grew up in is like, how long is the music gonna take? Oh, it'll be done when it's done. In fact, last year in January, my mother passed away. And thank you. But some people from my church came to my mom's home church, the church I grew up in. Okay. And I was like, I'm just preparing you guys. It's very different.
Yeah.
And it started with me and my children, all 4 of my kids sing. And we were singing a song, you know, at my mom's service.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you know,
what was it? What was the song?
It's called "Goodness of God."
Okay.
And one of the guys taps me on the shoulder. He goes, "You mind if I play?" I was like, "No, absolutely." You know, like we're just getting started. Bass player jumps in, right? Next thing I know, a guy steps up on the drums, and we got a drummer in there. And then they had another keyboard. A guy starts playing.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if they know the song, but they're amazing. You know, they just jump in. And then next thing you know, the full choir comes up on the stage.
Wow.
So it's not just my kids, and they're backing them up. And we probably went 20 minutes, you know, doing different stuff. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We were doing this song called Trust in God, you know, and that song just, for me, it's funny because I've been in this other church so long. I got to a point at the end where I'm like, this is probably where we're going to end it. They were not ready to end it. You know, they were. So it's a different mindset, honestly. Yeah. You know, and sometimes it's really hard for me because I you know, when I feel that music moving and people being moved by it, I feel like that should continue, right?
Yeah.
We should and also too, if you're so quick to get to the next song, then you don't give people enough time to kind of rest in what we just did and kind of feel what we just did. And, you know, I just love those moments in between. If you listen to like gospel music particularly, some of the best stuff is like when they're at the end and they're moving into the next song, they just take their time, you know. So that's kind of my style.
I've always been fascinated by those moments when you think it's going to end.
Yeah.
And it only takes one tiny snare drum hit to like, whoa,
oh, yeah, okay, it's going, he's going again. Yeah, absolutely, man. There's so much.
It's like, it's funny. It's like beautiful, but isn't that also really hilarious? How like it's always just like kind of on the edge like that.
Absolutely, it's like sometimes you're in and you'll be looking around, and it's like somebody's like, I dare you to hit one key. You know? I dare you, and we're going. You know?
But what we're talking about like a collective feeling.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And if everybody, it kind of takes like it's not actually a vote. I was about to say it's like a vote, but it's not a vote. It's like it's a consensus.
Yeah. Consensus.
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah. I was trying to teach the band at church, the team at church, how to do like hits at the end of a song, you know, like you're going to do stabs, you know, like we call them trash cans. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And so, but we do that a lot, and I've taught them that. But what I want to teach them is how to do multiple trash cans stacked on top of each other.
Okay, all right, show me what you mean.
Like, for example, like
multiple trash cans stacked on top of each other.
You would get to at the end of a song, right? And let's say you ended on the 4. So if it were in C, let's say you ended on the 5. Okay. Let's end it on the 5. And
you know it ends on the 5, so everyone knows.
Right.
This is not over.
It doesn't end, right? And then all of a sudden that kind of fades out, and then because like what I'm doing over top of that is singing. Right? Okay. So I'm like, you know, thank you, Jesus, you know, and then all of a sudden it kind of fades down, and then, you know, so it's not just ending on the 1, and then you might even go back to the 5, you know, and just, because the thing is that what I'm trying to teach them, this is a joke I tell my team. I was like, most times when we do trash cans and we do end on the 1, you know, the team acts like if they're the last one playing, they're going to have to pay the check. You know, it's like they want out as soon as possible.
Interesting.
You know? And I'm always like, no. You know, so I started labeling different kind of trash cans.
Oh, give me some.
Okay. Right. So like if you get to the end of something, this is what I call a parabola. Okay. You know, so there's no stab at the end. It just swells up and comes down, you know.
On the 1, basically.
On the 1. And then I would, you know, like if someone's talking after,
So that is like a traditional, like you could say this song is ending, but it's not like a hit, but it
not
is
like a stab.
We've all come to the chord, but now we're going to
That's correct.
let it release.
Yeah, and it depends on the song
Parabola?
and what you're going. Yeah, because like in mathematics, it goes up and then it's a curve that goes up and comes down.
That's the parabola.
Yeah. So I also call it sometimes like a bathroom trash can.
Bathroom trash can.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so you have a bathroom trash can.
All right.
You have a kitchen trash can.
All right. What's the kitchen trash can?
Kitchen trash can is it's not the big I use some weird terms, man. It's not big Mujamba trash can.
Okay.
But it can.
It's tall. It's like a 8 gallon.
Yeah. It's about like that. And
so you're like we're intentionally holding this.
You're intentionally
the
holding
parabola. You're like just gonna
you
letting
just
it go.
Let it swell and let it come
kitchen,
down.
you're gonna let it.
You're gonna let it live, and then what I call the like the Oscar the Grouch dumpster trash can.
All right, yeah.
It's just like when you feel like it's over, it's not over. Do
you
know what I'm saying?
I do.
And then like that's where we would, so I have to tell my drummers, some of them they're great drummers, but they're just like, I need to know how many beats are we holding this? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, bruh,
no.
I'll just be like, and I'll just be saying something like, thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
So glad that we can be here and celebrate, and then there's the drums really carry this kind of thing because they're doing, they're going kind of crazy. And,
sure.
I always tell them, I said, this is time for you to live your life. And then, but you're looking at me, and then oftentimes like I'll shout over top of it and try to get people to clap and, engage in that whole thing. And it can go for a minute.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you're still holding that chord.
You're still holding that chord the whole time. Yeah. Same chord.
Yeah.
And so the stack trash can is like you're building, kind of a tension.
Sure.
That, and the more that you build on it, because music is so much about tension and release. Right. You're building that tension, and then, and when it finally you come to the one, there's that release moment, and so that's what I'm trying to work on them. But again, some of the drummers are, they're very meticulous, very, they're stuck on, we use click track. Mm-hmm. They're stuck on the click. They're just like, how many measures are we holding this first one? How many measures,
Okay, legit point. While you're holding this out, do they have like in their ear while you're just telling them to like hold it? Like, do they?
That's what they want.
Oh my God.
But I have to click stop at that point because you know what I'm saying. If they start hearing time, they get locked into it.
Sure.
And so no, I stop the click at that point.
Yeah.
It's about and it's just different styles. We have this one drummer. The guy is a metronome. I mean, like he is fantastic. He just, I told him, I said, man, you are a really good drummer. You could be a great drummer if you would kind of let go of this notion that there is a mechanical way to play the drums. His timing's good, mm-hmm. everything is there, but the feel is not there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so particularly like in some of the music that we do, like at church or even in gigs, like you got to feel it, you know? I mean, really all music, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like if you're not feeling it, why are we doing it?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So
I really, really want to share one of my favorite trash cans with you.
Yeah.
It's called the Led Zeppelin trash can.
Okay.
I don't quite remember why it's called the Led Zeppelin trash can. I think it's because it works best if you do it with a rock band and you feel like you're doing like the majesty of Led Zeppelin. I always do it in E. So let's say that we're in E minor. Everyone's like, the song just ended, and then you get triple let, and then you do the triple let.
That's
but like
cool.
Ideally, the drummer is also going.
Yeah,
like
is he
like
tripling
unison.
too?
Everyone's in unison.
That's epic,
and it's this. That's like so funny to me.
That's awesome.
I call that the Led Zeppelin.
That's so like it's so like commanding. You know what I'm saying? It feels like it has so much presence. And I don't know why it's called Led Zeppelin, but man,
I don't remember either. I think,
cool.
but like, commanding and presence, I think is something we were going for.
Yeah.
And that was in that particular band when you had like electric guitar, drums, and bass. And sometimes you're jamming and you like, just like you said, like the song ends, it's like, but is it really
But
over?
is it really? Yeah, sometimes it just, I mean, dude, I'm not joking. So like when I'm at church sometimes, we'll end a song and I'll pray sometimes, almost every time. So I'll pray and I'll just be like, do my prayer thing.
Yeah.
And I usually just kind of, I'm looking for like a feel. So if I'm following someone too, like I'm literally just watching them and seeing where they're going. If they start talking about something really deep, I'll go to a minor chord, just to kind of feel that moment there, and then you could live on the 4 and the 6 forever.
Yeah.
But then sometimes we get done and I'm just like, let's sing that again. Not trust in God, my Savior, the one never fail. He will never fail. Oh, I trust in God, my Savior, the one who will never never fail. Oh, I trust you, God. Something like that. And just
It's a bathroom trash can.
Yeah.
Bathroom trash can.
Yeah, just a
That was
little
a
bit
bathroom
of
trash can.
Yeah. So exactly, man. Exactly. So I just music has been my even in church. I remember you know Chris Davis, right?
I do.
You know Chris Davis?
Yeah.
Runs Jukebox Media.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So he goes to my church.
That's lovely.
And so the first time, when I first came to that church to be the worship leader, he was the drummer.
Okay.
And he was always telling me, it's like, Ron, sometimes I'd set in with his band, Lost Wax, and he was always telling me, it's like, Ron, you need to start your own band. And I was literally like, man, I'm not good enough, and I just can't do it. So probably for like 3 years. Maybe even longer, he was like, man, I love having you sit in with us. He goes, but you need to start your own band. There's a space in Kansas City for a funk band, right? And so finally I gathered some guys together that I knew, and it was kind of an interesting journey. We would practice in my dining room, and my kids called it the Old Lady Book Club because we do a lot of arguing, right? It's just about how we were going to do things, and we had different, people who had different ideas about things. But one thing I knew for sure is that if we're going to be a funk band, then the groove section has got to groove, right? And so we needed a bass player that particularly, we had a great drummer, needed a bass player that really understood that. And the guy that kind of started with us, he had a good beginning, but like he just kind of stopped practicing. He got another job and really started spending time on that. And he would show up to gigs not having looked. You could tell he hadn't opened that case.
He just wanted to wing it.
Yeah, he just wanted to wing it, and he wasn't good enough to wing it.
Yeah.
And so we actually, it's kind of a joke. We were at a gig at the Levee, and he was laying clams all over the place. I mean, just playing bad. And so I turned on the bass in the track. And it's kind of interesting. We have had some bass players sit in with us, but for the most part, we use the bass from the track.
Right, yeah.
And we always kind of joke that it's the best musician in the band because he never misses his timing is perfect.
Yeah, he doesn't leave for bathroom breaks.
Exactly, right.
You don't lose him at the bar.
He doesn't take a piece of the pie either. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of a big thing.
Scale.
Yeah, exactly. So the band kind of evolved, and we started getting, musicians that were really good, that were like on the next level where we wanted to be. And And so it's been an amazing journey from where we started to now. My 2 daughters are now singing in the band.
That's
with
fantastic.
Me. Yeah,
that's great.
and so it's such a cool feeling to be singing. And we work at home on make sure our harmonies are tight and everything like that. But like that just kicks things up to a different level. One of my favorite songs to play in the band is "Ain't Nobody" by Shaka Khan.
Yes.
And watching my daughter, who a handful of years ago never could have pulled that song off, and watching her now just absolutely kill it, and I'm playing behind her and supporting her. You
do that E flat minor?
We do it in E minor.
Oh, I almost had it. I'm pretty close, aren't I? Close. That's an awesome one, man.
Yeah.
So, when you're playing on that one, is that line? Is that on the track, or is that something?
That's on the track, yeah. So I just, I kind of have fun with some of the things I do on that. Just kind of play some different rhythms, and then. Sorry, that's.
Ooh. Do you want my Shaka Khan story?
Yeah.
Do you want my Shaka Khan story?
Yeah.
I was working on a cruise ship, and I was just in the whatever house band on a cruise ship. No one cared about us. It's fine. But there was every once in a while, a jazz cruise would happen. There'd be the takeover cruises.
Oh, okay.
Where all these people would basically buy tickets knowing that there was a curated set of artists that were performing, like flown in special,
right,
just to be there. And one year, the headlining person was Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan was going to be on this jazz cruise. So this is great for all the musicians because basically, like, it's impractical to like get all the entertainment for the ship to disembark for a week and bring them back. So we're just kind of told, you stay here, just don't mess up.
Yeah.
And we all knew it. Like we're just getting paid.
Yeah.
To hang out and like watch all these other people kind of like take our gig for the week. This is awesome.
That is awesome.
I was there, and there was a day that I'm heading up to lunch, and I hit the elevator, ding, and the elevator opens up, and there's these 2 just giant dudes.
Yeah.
Giant dudes in front of me, and behind them is this little short stack, and that's Shaka Khan.
Wow.
And the 2 dudes are like, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Hey, it's okay." And Shaka Khan looks at me and blows me a kiss.
No way.
And the doors shut. I'm like,
oh my gosh, that's awesome,
I
man.
got blown a kiss.
Yeah. By
Shaka
Shaka
Khan.
Khan.
Just
Oh
right there in front of me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
An angel.
I know, right?
Woman is an angel.
Angel, man.
Yeah, and then she sang and sounded like Shaka Khan.
Like Shaka
still
Khan. Love that. I am
really
amazed
gets you
at some
for-
of these, singers that still have their voice, like
Yeah.
they can still bring it like that at, in their 70s, and it's kind of amazing because not everyone can carry those kind of voices into their 60s and 70s.
I think someone, I would have to verify this, but I think there's something happening where Shaka Khan actually has an unusually shaped throat. Someone did some research on her.
Really?
So there's actually like a mutation isn't the right word, but I think it's the best word, right?
Yeah.
But like this is like she was gifted
Wow.
with like a really unusual voice box. Like it's
Wow.
it's like different than the average human. So when you see how it's like there's actually extra space in that,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's amazing.
Don't quote me on that. I wish
no.
I could call her and ask her that, but I don't think she cares.
Yeah. For her,
She's
it's
just
probably
like this is my voice and I
yeah,
sing.
it's
right?
just my voice. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we gotta do some of these categories.
Okay, great.
Before we run out of time. This will be fun. Best seat is on stage.
Yeah.
Dive into what makes a certain music venue special, what the vibes are, subtle details that might go unnoticed by someone who hasn't performed there. So there's a place that you have played. It's like this place is really, really special, and you love playing there.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I saw that question and I was like, this is tough because the place I want to say can also be difficult to play. It's one of my favorite places to play, but there's also some times when it's very difficult. If you're talking about like club scene,
it's anything you want.
Yeah. But we started at Kelly's.
All right.
And
as in Too Proud to Beg?
Too Proud to Beg started at Kelly's. Yeah, that's where my band started. And it was kind of an interesting thing because I got a call from Colleen, who runs it, and she was like, hey, we'd love to have your band come and play. And then she told me it was an Irish pub. And I was like, you know we're black. Like, I wasn't sure it was going to fit. I really wasn't. She was like, yeah, we're just trying to try some different things. And I was like, okay. Yeah. So we went and played. Absolutely, like, loved it. They loved us. We played there, probably 10 or so times a year for the next like 5 years. And every time we were there, the place was packed. Yeah. And it's such an interesting space because you're probably this far off the ground on a little stage, but you're like right up to the dance floor. So my keyboard is up against the rail, or actually they had ropes tied around there. Okay. And you're right there where people are dancing. Yeah. Which at times was fantastic, sometimes was kind of dangerous.
Because they're getting rowdy and they're spilling. And
yeah, of course. I can't tell you how many sustain pedals I had to buy. Someone would fall into the keyboard, bend the sustain pedal, plug in over. It was pretty annoying. But I'll tell you what, man, there were times when the energy and the vibe in that place was just absolutely like overwhelming. Yeah. So, even though it was late and people were drunk and sometimes hard to deal with, there were times where the venue itself surprised me as to how great it was. And the other thing that really surprised me is I wouldn't have thought it, but the number of like weddings that we booked as a result of playing in this club was tremendous, you know, like, and so anyways, I always just felt like I kind of missed playing there, now I think they've gone to just DJs after COVID. But there was something about it, it's kind of nostalgic for me. It's where we started, but it really worked well for us. And I was stunned, it was an all black funk band in an Irish pub, it's like a joke. You're about to tell a joke,
Well, no, do you think part of it was actually I'm curious about, like, I got really into the idea of like the architecture of music venues. Yeah. And like you should spend a lot of time on like making sure the speakers are in the right place and understanding the acoustics. Correct. But even then, like the way a room is shaped, Yeah. And and it can feel maybe constricting, but maybe that's good sometimes. Like it's like the right, like you're being like it's like my son likes to have a compression blanket on, right? It's like you have this something, it feels like you're taken care of in a spot. Yeah. Whereas you can also play somewhere it's like it's too big. Yeah. It's too open, and you just feel like kind of like lost. Exactly. In a place. I feel like what you're describing, maybe Kelly's was like getting that just right. That feeling
that feeling of intimacy, and there was always this great like connection and kind of a symbiosis happening between the band and the crowd being right there, as opposed to we've done some weddings in Union Station, which is just
the worst.
It's the worst, man. I mean, like, you're literally this tiny little sound in this big, huge space,
and then your tiny little sound becomes a big little
bouncing. Sound. Absolutely.
The only times I feel like that place gets it close is they have the giant partitions, the giant partitions in between, and you can even see like someone has tried to put like sound baffling on top. Yeah. That room is just not designed for live music at all. No, it isn't. It's not at all. But it's so beautiful. Yeah. I love it. And the people do great work there. Absolutely. Like, anytime I have a gig there now, I'm like, we'll be okay.
I love to go. I do love to play it, but obviously all those obstacles you just described, exist there. Yeah. But there is something about playing there too. Yeah. That,
it's majestic.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Exactly. It's
very
beautiful.
All right. This is a good one. The Keith Jarrett Colin Award for Best Gig on a Crappy Instrument. So Keith Jarrett had to play on. He almost walked out of a show that he was booked to play in Germany because he started playing the piano and he was like, I can't play on this piano, and the people
basically had to like beg him to stay and play, and he reluctantly agreed, even though they didn't swap out the piano. But that is now regarded as one of his best performances.
Really?
Because he had to overcome the limitations of the instrument.
Yeah, I think, honestly, the instrument that I've had to overcome is probably, I can't think of a keyboard that I've had to overcome anything.
Any instrument.
But my voice would be an instrument that at times I've had to overcome. There's so many things that that kind of, sometimes the joke that I say is sometimes I walk into a place and I say, it's a quote from The Color Purple. I'm like, Miss Celia feels like singing, It's just there. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And then other times you don't know why. You've warmed up, you've prepared. It's just not there. But you still owe it to overcome that, like even if you've been sick all week, head cold, and, and you're like, I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to be able to deliver anything worth of quality here. But honestly, there have been times where I've walked into a gig and like, man, I'm not sure how I feel if my voice is there. And the moment took over and, man, I'm just like, I'd get done with it and people would come up and say, man, that was amazing. And I tell my wife, I'm like, I don't know how I did that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's just... Sometimes, being a person of faith, I'm just like, obviously there's that element to it, but sometimes it's also, it's the training and the, and the work that you've done that sometimes, takes over and you just find yourself in the middle of doing something. But instrument, because it's attached to you, is such a personal thing, whenever I have to, kind of a sidebar, whenever I have to deal with vocalists, like on the team, if like, say we go through a part and maybe the harmony was a little off, if I say, hey, I think the alto was, let's go over that again, so make sure we get that. The alto, because that instrument is attached to her, that's almost like a personal attack. Where I can turn to the bass player and say, hey man, I think we missed that, let's go back and get that. He's like, all right, great, let's go.
It's external. It's
right. Yeah. And so being a vocalist, I understand that kind of that emotional connection because the instrument literally is you. And so this is a kind of an interesting story. I don't get super nervous very often when I have to sing, just because I've been doing it so long, and I don't mean to, pat myself on the shoulder for that. But the last time that I got, and it was like unnaturally nervous. What was her name? Lou. Now I can't think of her name, but she does this Christmas kind of jazz thing every year. And she brings in some of Kansas City's, best like jazz and best singers. And what's his name? Gutierrez. They call him the Latin Luther. And Ebony Fondren was there. I don't know if you know Ebony.
I know Ebony.
Some big names. Yeah. And Lou Dare is her name. And she tells me, she asked me to be a part of it. I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's great. I'd love to do it. But then when I get there, I find out that I am the big closing thing before the end.
Okay. No pressure. Hey, no pressure.
And it was like a 2-hour show.
Wouldn't you rather be like the closer than like the first thing, though?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a seat of honor.
Yeah. Oh, wait, it was. I didn't know that I had it. Well, I'm sitting in the green room with, most of the people had done this before. So they're looking at me like, who's this guy, coming in? And why is he like the big final thing? And, man, I just got in my own head, in that time. I'm like, man, these guys are pros. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm going to mess it up.
Your imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, big time.
So you didn't have to play at all. You just had to sing?
I just had to sing, which was an interesting thing. I should have played because I did an arrangement of that. My best buddy, he's a jazz guy, and he did an arrangement of "Oh Holy Night," and it was very different.
Okay.
And so I tried to teach it to the piano player that they had there, and he just never quite got it. It was funny because the guitar guy was trying to help him. It's like, no, bro. He goes, no, wait, no, timing is this. He just couldn't get the feel of it, you know. And so I was a little nervous about that because the rehearsals didn't go great with him. But I'm sitting in this green room with all of these, you know, some of Kansas City's, you know, best singers. Yeah. And I start, you know, imposter syndrome. And some of them are asking me like, hey, who are you? And I'm like, you know, so I'm just like, I don't know. I'm Ron Lackey, you know? Yeah. And so I'm confident in the gift that I've been given. You know what I'm saying? I know that in my head. But sometimes you get in your own head. Sure. Right? Yeah. And this was a moment I was so nervous, man. I got out on that stage and I hadn't shaken on stage in a long time. Yeah. And but I also knew what I was capable of. And so I just trusted myself, but I had to overcome that. Like, it was a big hurdle to just get out there and remember who I was and what I was capable of doing. And man, I'll tell you what, I killed it. I mean, I was going to be honest with you. Like, you know, I laid it out. I left it all out there. And so I was really proud of myself, you know, because I have to remind myself there is, in the spiritual world, they call it, there's fruit, there's evidence that I have a gift. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Like, people pay me to use my gift. You know, it's not just, I'm not some guy just, you know, who walked in off the street. Right. You know, there's evidence that I have a gift. And I think oftentimes musicians, it's funny, I had someone tell me, they were like, wow, you musicians are so confident and comfortable with yourself. You get up there, you lay it all out. And, you know, gosh, you probably never have to struggle with insecurity. Is that what you think? Literally, I was like, that's amazing. Oh, my gosh.
Amazing you believe that.
Yeah, I'm so glad it's coming across that way. That's true, but man. That is not the truth, so.
Okay. Music theory nerd corner. Okay. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good for you because you're self-taught. Is that your chance to expound on any aspect of musical theory that you admire? Can be a simple idea or complex idea. Okay. But something about music that the mechanics of it.
The mechanics of music. I love the. I both love the kind of the mathematics of music. Okay. And the fact that the masters would ignore it at times. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yep. When I took some music theory classes, you know, years later, I just felt like I wanted to grow. Sure. So I took a couple of music theory classes at K-State. Yeah. And I would get in trouble with the teacher. Okay. Because she would say, you know, we're talking about things like part leading, you know, like what makes a good melody, what leads you back to this, or what takes you on this journey. And, and, you know, we were also at the same time discovering that, you know, these masters of music, you know, Mozart, Bach, things like that, that they did some of these things, but they also stepped outside of that. Okay. And I'm like, what keeps us? You know, why can't we also, you know, as we're learning this theory, but, you know, the masters did this, you know. Okay. And she was like, well, you're not one of the masters. You know, you know what I'm saying? I say, believe me, I know that. I'm like, but I also think what we learn in music theory is us taking something that is so magical, right, and amazing, and trying to quantize it to something that we can, you know, create an algorithm and say, if you do, you know, these three chords, this thing, you know, the root and the third and the fifth, you know, and it's stack on that, and however you build it, you know, 9th and 13th and all that kind of stuff, then it will equal good music. But I personally don't believe that's how the masters thought.
I don't think it's going to equal. I disagree. Equal good music. It's going to equal music.
It's going to equal music. Yeah.
What makes it good is kind of like something like a step beyond that.
Absolutely.
You know.
So in music theory class, I actually aced the class because like.
So like a part leading. Yeah. Like for a melody of like. That would be following within those chords.
Correct.
Leading up. Yeah. Yeah. But if I broke that, like that, like going to a suspended thing,
right?
And
coming outside. And what really breaks it is when you, what I learned when I was learning. My jazz buddy was trying to teach me kind of how jazz musicians think, and he said, whereas in music theory they teach you like if you're playing in a key, everything is has a number, has a place in that scale.
True.
But in jazz they think of each chord as a one, so everything is about how do I get to that one. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you're playing, if you're going from like a 1 to a 5, whereas, like normally you just go from like, okay, here's a 1 to a 5. But they think about like, what are the ways what leads me to a G? You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
like, instead of thinking, but they're doing that on the fly.
Right.
And of course they know this stuff, but like, and so what it leads them to is to playing all these amazing passing chords that are outside of the key of that scale, the scale of that key, which that's when it, to me, like, according to like basic music theory, and of course it all fits, there's no doubt about it, but like in basic music theory, simple music theory, wait, you're playing chords that aren't in that key, that doesn't work. Yeah, of course it does, and of course jazz is all about that kind of stuff. It's about, spontaneity, it's like, but the mindset that you have to understand that is tremendous. I mean, it's beyond me.
Yeah. It's like when you're taking driver's ed, they used to tell me in driver's ed, like, you need to drive this way in order to pass the test. But once you have your license,
once you have your license,
you don't think about that stuff at all
anymore. No, oh my gosh, you absolutely don't. The sax player, I mean, this dude, he's amazing, and this just blows my mind. I'm playing on a keyboard, so songs in G, we're in G, right? Sure. And whatever it is, he's playing 3 different instruments, and each one is in a different concert key.
I hate that.
I know.
Right. That's an aspect. Why did we do that to ourselves?
I don't know.
Why did we put all these horns in different keys?
It's amazing.
Yeah. And how many times are you're looking at a trumpet player and you have to be like, no, it's an F.
Right.
My F.
Right.
Yeah. You know it. And then they have to look back at you like, I know that you know that I know.
Right.
Like, you know what note I mean?
You know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they don't know, then it's like, I'm never hiring this guy.
Right. If they don't know.
It's like, we're not.
Absolutely. They're supposed to know. But yeah, I mean, like that, my mind just explodes.
Yeah.
To be like playing. And of course, like there's been several times where I'd bring a song in the wrong key and I'd have to transpose on the fly, but like a step or two, But like they're literally playing, sometimes, way apart from the key of the song,
Sure.
And it depends, because he'll pick up a soprano sax, put that down, and then we're going to the bridge. He picks up an alto sax.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so those are 2 different, keyed instruments. And so you're like playing. I'm just like, my mind would explode, man, if I had to do that. Like it's just. But I mean, he does it so. I mean, it's like second nature to him.
Okay, well, this leads us nicely to the last category. U.S. Department of Musical Security. If you were in charge of the United States musical scene,
okay,
what would you decree? Like, for example, if we were just like blanket statement, all wind instruments are in the same key.
Same key. Yeah, I hear you, man.
Like that would have immense ramifications.
Oh my gosh, it would be huge.
Immense ramifications.
Yep.
Like this is the kind of stuff that you can do as director of U.S. Department of Musical
Wow.
Security. All right, what do you have in mind?
That's a lot of power.
I know.
Man, that's a tough one. I think. It's really interesting, having been on the music scene, some of the challenge, there's a lot of weekend warriors out there, and, I guess I would decree that if you're hiring a band, understand what you need. You know what I'm saying? Like there's oftentimes that we've been at gigs and I'm like, why did they hire us? Like, they really wanted Twice on Sunday or, Lost Wax or something like that, but they hired us, and they're expecting us to play some of that. And I just believe it's, I have sung Elton John, I've sung Frank Sinatra. I actually think I sound pretty good singing Frank Sinatra, but it still sounds like a large black man singing. No matter what I do, it's me singing it.
Right.
But like, I feel like the thing that I do best is, if that's what you want, you need to know what that is, And so there's a lot of imposters out on the music scene, and they make it difficult for bands that are legit, And I'm not trying to, downplay anything, but it's more about the client, because oftentimes the people who are hired, particularly like in the corporate world, people who are hired to choose bands, they have no idea what they're.
Well, they just don't want to mess it up.
Right.
That's what they're worried about. And I think what they end up doing is asking for basically like a streaming service. I know how Spotify works.
Right.
Can a band recreate
absolutely
Spotify? That way, I just want to know there's a variety of music happening.
Correct.
And it's clean and happy, and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. But they want the live music aspect.
But they want it live.
They want it live. Yeah. Yeah. Live. Yeah, for sure. So, I guess if I had the power and authority, I just...
You want these people to take some risks to actually own up to the fact.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Take some chances, and we play a lot of music that's not funk music, and we're very capable. One of my daughters is a Swiftie, and so we do add some of that stuff, but that's not the core of who we are, you know? And so I just, we were at a gig one time, and the groom I noticed a lot of cowboy hats, and the groom walks in, and as him and the bride are walking into the reception, they started yee-hawing and yelling. Okay. And I was like, are we in the right? Maybe we went to the wrong gig, so, because this is truly a, it felt more like a country scene.
Yeah.
So, but I kind of say we are who we are. We're going to be true to who we are.
Yeah.
And what I have been amazed at.
Wait, hold on. Did you play some country music then? Did you
No.
Okay.
They asked for country music,
and you were like, "We're not a country band."
I said,
this is the country of America.
Right. I was like, I can play some stuff in the break, like Spotify, and DJ some stuff in the break,
How did this happen? That's so funny.
I don't know.
That's really
and again, it's like, I think they don't have an understanding. And, sometimes I'm like, are we not showing who are, when they go to our website and social media and stuff, do they not recognize, are we not presenting who we are?
Yeah.
But it's amazing. We can play 2 full sets, and I'm talking Earth, Wind & Fire, Michael Jackson, Motown, everything you could imagine that, an all-black funk band would play.
Sure.
And someone will walk up and say, hey, do you guys do Freebird?
Oh, my God, yeah.
And I'm just like, have we done anything in the last 2 hours that would indicate to you that we're that kind of band,
Yeah.
And so I don't know if people are always paying attention.
Yeah.
They just want what they want, which is, I get it.
You ever do this? You ever be like, I got a free bird for you right here. There you go, free bird. For you. Free bird.
I'm a little more, there was a lady one time that was intent on us playing some Britney Spears. And she was like, you have to play Britney Spears. And I was like, well, we don't play any Britney Spears songs, And I was like, I could play something for you. But she got really nasty. And it was crazy. We were at a country club.
I find this really interesting that but this is broader. Like what you're describing is actually a symptom of how much streaming music has just taken over people's relationship to music.
You're right.
That they just think, I get to hear whatever I want whenever I want.
Correct.
Most people kind of feel that way now.
Yeah.
But a band that is rehearsed and has a certain style doesn't operate like that. And I think it's still really difficult for human beings to to grasp at, so it doesn't stop them from them assuming that, well, they're musicians, they must automatically know what I'm thinking.
Absolutely.
They just must know it because I know it.
Absolutely. In fact, that lady said to me, now this will be one of the most ridiculous statements that you've ever heard.
Yeah.
She goes, I dated a musician.
Oh, no.
I know you guys can play anything. I was like, I don't know who you were dating, Prince? I mean, like, I'm just.
She would have said Prince.
Yeah,
if she
right.
dated Prince.
Like, yeah, for sure. But like, I'm just like, it has to be somebody, like. But also too is like, okay, even if the guy you were dating could play anything, that doesn't mean every musician, every band.
Well, no, it's part of a trick, right?
Yeah.
Like I run into this a lot with like playing piano bar stuff when I'm taking requests. So I'm very, very comfortable with that.
Of course.
But what I'm making it look like is that I know how to play everything. But that's not actually true. There's like showmanship to that and magic to that, right? And if you get people like beginning to believe that, great. Yeah. But it's not actually true. And I've also am at a point where if someone asks me to play something that they're really, really excited about, but I've never, you'll find this interesting. I've stopped saying I don't know it. I've stopped saying that. I've started saying I suck at that one. Oh. Because I'm not negating their taste. Because like it's actually, that is what they don't want, is to like come up with an idea and someone looks back at them and like, I have no idea what you're talking about. That feels terrible.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
If I can admit that I'm the one that's like
it's
bad
on me.
at it, it's on me, like then it's funny.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny you say that because we'll sometimes learn first dances at a wedding, and they'll ask, this happens almost every time, they'll say, hey, can you guys do this particular song? And I'll tell them the same thing. I'm like, can we play that song? 100%. We can learn that song. Mm-hmm. But sometimes people are so focused on whether or not they can, they never stop to think of where they should. And so I'll tell them, I'm like, if this song has any value to you in its original format, then we just need to play it, DJ it. Mm-hmm. Because it will not sound like that song if we're doing it. Right. And a great example is this gal wanted me to sing a song called All Yourn. All Yourn. It's a country song. And I mean, it's really a country song. All right. And I listened to it. I always tell them, I said, let me listen to it and see if it's something that, I think we can pull off well. I don't want to do it. Same thing that you said. I don't want to do something that, we ruin for you on your day. And so I listened to it and I went back to her. I said, I'm not sure that, there was like steel guitar in it and, that kind of thing. And I said, I'm not sure that we can pull this off well. And she goes, actually, I would love to hear you guys' version of it.
Now, that's kind of cool.
That is cool.
That's kind of like the best case scenario.
Best case scenario. Yeah. Right. And so we did a version of it. Yeah. Felt more like, probably a little more like blues. Sure. Than country.
Well, now we're testing the song. Right. Does the song good enough? Right. To translate to
those other things.
That's the test.
And that it was actually kind of fun. We got done and we were like, we could probably, package that thing, because it's so different from the original. Yeah. Different style, we got sax playing on it, and everything like that. And so it felt different. But it was fun. So when they come like that and they're just like, we're paying for a live band, we'd love to hear your interpretation of this song or this song.
That's actually an honor.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Really is. And when they say that, then we work hard and learn the song. When they say, well, we'd rather it sound kind of like just like the original recording, I'm like, then we need to DJ it. Yeah. So I mean, I can fake Michael Jackson all day. I don't sound like him. I don't even try to sing like him when I'm singing a Michael Jackson song. Right. My favorite song to sing is "Rock with You." And I don't sound like Michael Jackson when I sing it, but there is a quality to my singing that changes when I'm singing Michael Jackson versus Stevie Wonder versus, Maurice White in Earth, Wind & Fire. Right. I'm not trying to imitate them, but there is a quality that I feel like I bring that's slightly different for those kind of singers.
Here, let me show you. I do, it's my version of The Way You Make Me Feel. but I stole this from a guy named Julian Villard, so I didn't even come up with this arrangement.
Yeah.
So it's down here. Hey, pretty baby with the high heels on.
Yeah.
You give me fever like I've never ever known. So I'm like, maybe I don't even know what the original is anymore. Probably F.
F, yeah.
Is the F the original? Well, no. I was in F just now.
Oh, you were in F.
I was in F, so like the original's got to be like B flat or C, something like that.
It's gotta be.
How far like I brought that down?
Yeah.
But like the spirit is there.
The spirit of the song.
I'm just gonna do like that's
100%.
how I feel. Like if I can show that I enjoy singing this song.
Yep.
And I'm not winking.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna do this. And it was interesting what you were saying earlier about like faking it, of like what it means. Like the Britney Spears, for example.
Yeah.
For like, you're asking us to play Britney Spears. It's gonna be a joke. You're asking for a joke.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And like, I don't like serving it up like that.
No,
you know,
I don't.
I can. You know, I would struggle. I would like. It's kind of a funny idea.
It is
point,
actually
because Britney Spears like plays in the culture. You know
right,
what I mean?
Right, exactly.
But it's it's to like come at an artist where it's not necessarily if like vocally like I don't have anything in common with this artist at all. But like again, we're testing the song, we're testing the material.
Yes.
This is not about me trying to sound like Michael Jackson.
Right.
This is like connected to how good this song is and my interpretation, approximation of it.
Yeah. I'm amazed at like artists, particularly like Aretha Franklin, you know. Change only has one chord in the entire song. I mean, and then, you know, like but how do you build such an amazing song like that?
Yeah.
On one chord. I mean, that kind of stuff. But you listen to it, and musically, it's dynamic, it's exciting, it's a good song. But you know, you're just like, how'd she do that with one chord?
I know, it's amazing.
Play it all the way through it.
It's a groove, right?
Yeah, it's a groove. Yeah.
I mean, immediately you said it's a chord, but what did I start? I was like,
yeah, right.
There's like. But now I think we feel like we're talking about that could be like that's also "Shoot" by Salt and Pepper. Did they sample that actually?
I think they sampled that.
Is "Shoot" Chain of Fools?
"Shoot" Chain of Fools.
It's both.
Shoot, do do do. That's a good question.
We might have a mashup on our hands here.
Oh, you are exactly right.
I'm going to have to research that, or someone's going to come at me.
Yeah.
Thought about that just now, that those songs are so similar.
Yep.
But like,
I didn't notice it either.
Great groove.
Yep, great groove.
Great voice.
There's another one that we do. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's maybe 2 chords?
Maybe 2.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a... I mean, but you're even... The root's not even changing. I mean, you're still on a B.
Wait, it starts on it? Right?
Yeah.
But like the bass is just gonna like mostly hang on that B.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure.
And that's like pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much the.
And then Quincy Jones was like.
It's just sprinkling all the I call it, man. He's like all the bacon grease is there, man. You cook anything in bacon grease, it's better, God. Right? That's what they do, man.
Yeah.
So
isn't that so funny? Like you can take this stuff and like once you start breaking it down, you're like, oh, it's just one chord.
Yeah. But like when the band is grooving,
yeah,
dude, I'm telling you, man. Like when we, especially like on Chain of Fools, when we get to that, shoot, told you to leave me, shoot. Oh man, it's like you're in the pocket. Oh, it feels so good.
Yeah,
you know, and then it comes back to that groove, man. That it's just amazing. That's why I said like, "Ain't Nobody," one of my favorite songs, and the band. Sometimes we'll be playing that song, and I'll just look around and just be like, man, we are all together,
Yeah.
we are one unit right here.
Yeah.
And, sometimes when you're just grooving and it's just so laid in the pocket, and I don't know, man, sometimes it just feels right, and that's what music does,
Yeah.
and it has we do a lot of, particularly being, it's kind of interesting, and, it's just kind of the way the world is sometimes for us, for me, for our band. When we're loading in, oftentimes we get treated one way. Mm. When we're on the stage singing, we get treated differently. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
That's happened many times for us. And it's just amazing that music has the power to do that. Mm-hmm. Now, you could look at it and you could write a dissertation of how the things that are wrong with that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But the thing that is right about that is the power of music to diffuse and to like connect with people. Mm-hmm. And like people overlook. I was just watching a documentary on Motown, like when music was segregated. Okay. And there were certain places they couldn't play, and a lot of venues would start. They would have like the Temptations come and play, mm-hmm. and they would split the auditorium, and have whites on one side and blacks on the other side. Yeah. But people were so drawn to it. It was that crowd of people that began to, like to integrate. Sure. And police tried to break it up, in this documentary. They didn't like it. Wow. But it just got to a point where, you know what I'm saying? Like the power of music and it being, the one thing that, what's his name, that started Motown?
Not Quincy.
Berry Gordy. Okay. The one thing that Berry Gordy did really, really well was to take a lot of things in black music, gospel sound, blues and funk, and package it in such a way that it was accessible to everyone. Mm. And there's a lot of people. He's gotten a lot of scrutiny over the years as to, because sometimes they felt like he would strip away too much. Of that style and feel. But what he did was make that music accessible to, different cultures, particularly to the white culture. Mm. And they loved it. And he is probably considered one of the contributing factors to as things began to desegregate because of the music that came out of Motown. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's huge. And so just to make it accessible and for them to be able to say, hey, I actually like this. Yeah. And he did this thing, he called it the sweetening, where he would add strings and all this kind of stuff to these songs to kind of pull away a little bit from the funk groove of some of them. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And that was something that just, I don't know, it helped different people kind of feel the power of the music.
Changing the palette, tweaking.
Tweaking it just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. We have to get this over divide. We have to, and like, I want to learn more about this man, of what the choices he would have made. He was a producer?
Berry Gordy?
Yeah.
He was the founder of Motown.
Okay, got it.
So, another thing that he did was he put together a panel of people. All right. Different economic, socioeconomic standards, different genders, different ages, generational. And I think it was like a group of 12 people. Okay. And no song that a producer produced or a band wrote could get released unless it got past this panel of different people. He had a system.
That's awesome.
And so that he knew that it would work for more than just, he didn't even trust himself in selecting. You know what I'm saying? It's like this panel, it had to be good enough to get past this. And the contribution that Motown made in that regard was huge. I mean, listen, we're still doing their music today.
Yeah. I'm probably going to play My Girl this weekend.
Yeah. 100%, So, and that's just the power of, that music like that. And there are other artists and other genres that's the same way. It's just like, you look at it and you could play it today. They're still using it in commercials and movies and things like that. That's how the next generation still knows those songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it has the power to stay, and that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? That's music. You know.
Yeah. So. This has been great. Thank you so much. You know, you said something really early on. We were talking about imposter syndrome, about like Chris Davis encouraging you to start your own band. You were like, well, I'm not good enough to do that. And like, there's so many, in order to like start and run a band, what does it mean to really be, are you ever good at it before you do it? You know what I mean? Like
absolutely
you can't like, and that's what's so interesting about so much of what we were talking about today is like, there can be an element of like, you know, the mechanics of an instrument, but then what you learn about community, how people work with each other, how to book hotels, how to
man, all of that stuff, man. Yeah,
that's like that's different. It's not a matter of being good at it. It's just like trusting yourself that you can do it. And you can go do it. And I see a lot in that. I see a lot of that in you, which is like really, really amazing. Of like how open you are to like new ideas and new skills and new people. And you know, I really appreciate that.
Thank
you so much.
My pleasure, man. It's been awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for tuning in to Piano Barbarians. We welcome all of your comments and questions and concerns. Email us here at pbarbs@redbeatentertainment.com. These shows are mostly recorded here in Red Beat Entertainment Studios, Red Beat Studios in North Kansas City, Missouri. If you want to hire some Piano Barbarians for an event or for a group, or you're interested in bringing Piano Barbarians to you, please reach out. We would love to chat about that. We'll see you next time.